Thanks for tuning in to The Hub Online. I'm Nikisha Brown. We are here at Underground Books, and tonight we're focusing on the migration and prosperity of African Americans in Sacramento.
Campus Community Book Project started in 2002. It came the year after the 9/11 incident, and what we were looking for was a way to bring our campus community together, all sections, all different races, ethnic groups, religious groups, so that we could begin to really create that sense of community. And we thought the best way to do that would have, for an educational institution, was to have a shared educational experience. And we would all read one book and then get together and talk about it across racial, ethnic, cultural, gender, transgender lines, and share our different perspectives on the themes of that book.
I was born in Philadelphia. My grandfather left South Carolina and went to Philly. My grandmother left Mobile, Alabama, went to Chicago. And so somehow they met in San Diego. I was born in Philadelphia. Then we moved to Los Angeles. So I guess I'm a second generation from the Great Migration, but the stories that I heard from my grandparents from South Carolina and Mobile was extraordinary. And before I pass this along, I think one of the things that was really, really touching for me was the atrocities. I hate to start this off with a negative, but it was just unbelievable. In one case where a black man was lynched for supposedly speaking to a white woman, hung from a tree, set on fire. And all the folks around in the county came to watch the burning and the hanging of this man, and then the kids were given pocket knives to cut off body parts to take home as souvenirs. I could not believe that. What kind of atrocities and the kind of mindsets that were in the, of those folks at that time. So leaving the South to get away from that, for me, is pretty simple.
A lot of us don't want to talk about it, and a lot of people don't want to talk about slavery. They say that we're harping on slavery. Every race talks about their history. Jews talk about the Holocaust. It's painful, but they talk about it and they try to heal from it. We have never healed from the effects of slavery. Our families are still broken. Well, I think one point that needs to be made today is that prior to the Black migration, blacks were already all over the United States, and I think that's a fact that gets misconstrued, that people migrated from the South to the North. My mother was born in Connecticut, and I can trace my family all the way back to 1796, and the first slave who came to Rhode Island and Connecticut. And so there were black people in Connecticut, there were slaves in Connecticut, way before the Great Migration. But I do think that our lives would not be as full as they are, and I don't think we would be as prosperous as we are if the migration had not taken place.
All of these people who were leaving the South, most of them, they were looking for jobs. Few of them were creating jobs, even though they were all coming and bringing some money, and they were buying goods and services. And that created a problem, because when they were coming looking for jobs, they were competing with the Poles, the Italians, all of the other immigrants who were moving into the country. So they were coming in looking for the same jobs that those people were looking for. And those people came in and changed their last names, so they became very much a part of the, establishment. So they got in the door and got the house and got the job, and then they started to stand in the doorway to try to block the African Americans who were moving into the North. So I think the message for us, at least the message I walked away with, is that we need to do a little more thought about how we can figure out how to understand African Americans well enough ourselves so that we can begin to service one another and let that turn into the kind of economic prowess, because those people left because they were looking for a better life. So that meant they were looking for a better economic condition as well.
As you can see, there is much to be appreciated about one of the greatest untold stories of our American history. Thanks so much for watching The Hub Online. We'll see you next time.